Welcome to Chapter 1 of ChatGPT and Generative AI Prompt Engineering course by Saint Hua. In this chapter, we will be covering the introduction to generative AI.
As starters, let's discuss the key differences between generative and traditional AI. Traditional AI is like analytical problem solver excels at working with existing data to perform specific tasks, working within the lines and replicating what it's been trained on, but isn't creative. It's like a chess grandmaster, unbeatable within the game's rules, but not able to rewrite the rules themselves. Generative AI, on the other hand, is like a creative artist focuses on producing entirely new content, images, music, or even code. It analyzes massive data sets and uses that knowledge to generate original outputs you've never seen before, like composing a new song in the style of your favorite artist with a fresh melody, or generating a photorealistic image of a fantastical landscape. Both types of AI play crucial roles. While traditional AI helps us automate tasks, gain insights from data, and power the applications we use daily, generative AI has the potential to revolutionize creative fields. Generative AI is transforming art, science, and entertainment by creating entirely new possibilities. In art, it can generate never-before-seen paintings or compose music in the style of a favorite artist. In science, it can design novel molecules for drug discovery or create realistic simulations for weather forecasting. And in entertainment, it can dream up fantastical creatures for movies or personalize video game experiences based on player preferences. These are just a few examples of how generative AI's ability to produce unique and innovative content is pushing boundaries across various fields. Discriminative AI, like a detective, excels at analyzing data to categorize and differentiate things. Imagine a detective sorting through a pile of evidence, fingerprints, witness statements, ballistics reports. Their goal is to identify patterns and clues that distinguish between suspects, alibis, and the truth. Similarly, discriminative AI thrives on labeled data sets, where information is categorized beforehand. By learning these patterns, it becomes an expert at classification, prediction, and decision-making. From keeping your inbox clean from spam to aiding medical professionals in disease diagnosis, its ability to identify patterns and make classifications plays a crucial role in various aspects of our lives. However, it's important to remember that discriminative AI relies heavily on the quality and labeling of its training data. Biases present in the data can be reflected in the AI's outputs, highlighting the importance of responsible development and use of this technology. On the other hand, generative models are artists brimming with the potential to create entirely new works. They explore the underlying structures and relationships hidden within vast data sets, akin to an artist studying the brush strokes and techniques of the masters. Through analysis, they unlock the secrets of how data is built. This empowers them to generate fresh content that shares similarities with the data they learned from. However, the key to this creative process lies in sampling. Imagine generative model as artists reaching into a giant bag filled with all possible features, colors, and styles gleaned from the data. Sampling allows the model to pull out a unique combination of these features, just like the artist selecting a specific palette and brushwork for their next masterpiece. This process of selecting and combining features is repeated numerous times, resulting in a multitude of never-before-seen creations, each one drawing inspiration from data but ultimately unique. Let's explore the many fundamental concepts which are the building blocks to the established AI we are seeing nowadays. For today's lesson, we will be covering probability distribution, sampling, and different generative model architectures. Hopefully, these basic understandings will be sufficient in building a foundation to your understandings to generative AI. Generative AI relies on the concept of probability distributions, which act like a map of possibilities. Imagine a map showing the distribution of houses across a city, with some areas having many houses close together, densely populated, and others having fewer houses spread out, sparsely populated. Similarly, a probability distribution tells the AI how likely different features are to appear in the data it's learned from. For instance, a generative model trained on cat images might have a probability distribution that shows a high likelihood of pointed ears, whiskered faces, and furry bodies, while features like elephant trunks or bird wings would be much less probable. By understanding these probabilities, the generative model can essentially mimic the recipe for real-world data. allowing it to generate entirely new images, melodies, or other creative outputs that are statistically likely to exist based on what it has learned. Generative AI's creative spark lies in a process called sampling. Imagine a vast treasure trove filled with all the possible features, patterns, and elements the model has gleaned from its training data. This trove could hold everything from brush strokes in a painting dataset to musical notes in a melody dataset. To generate something new, the model doesn't simply copy existing pieces. Instead, it utilizes sampling, acting like an artist meticulously selecting elements from the treasure trove. Each sample is like picking a unique combination of features and using these selections to build something new. By repeatedly sampling and combining, the generative model mimics the creative process, stitching together a creative output. This process ensures that the generated content isn't just a random jumble, but something that statistically reflects the patterns and relationships learned from the training data, while still offering the delightful surprise of novelty. Now it's time to explore the specific architectures that drive these incredible generative capabilities by applying the concepts mentioned previously. We will be covering variational autoencoders, generative adversarial networks, and autoregressive models. Variational autoencoders, VAEs, are a type of generative model that takes inspiration from the artistic concept of capturing the essence of something in a simple sketch. Unlike other generative models that directly learn to produce new data, VAEs focus on understanding the underlying structure or core idea of the data they're trained on, encoding it in a way that lets them reconstruct similar data. This core idea is captured in a compressed space called the latent space. Imagine an artist creating a basic sketch that captures the key features of a portrait, the placement of the eyes, the curve of the jawline. This sketch acts as a simplified representation of the complex data. The full portrait. VAEs work in a similar way. They use an encoder to compress the input data, like an image, into a representation in the latent space. This latent space essentially becomes a treasure chest of core ideas learned from the training data. The decoder then takes over, acting like the artist who uses the sketch, the latent space representation, to rebuild the original data, reconstruct the image. This reconstruction process is crucial because it forces the VAE to learn a meaningful and accurate representation of the data in the latent space. By manipulating points within this latent space, VAEs can then generate entirely new variations of the data, like creating new portraits based on the core ideas learned from many different portraits. GAN's unique approach to generative AI, inspired by the age-old practice of artistic rivalry. Imagine two artists locked in a creative competition. One, the generator, strives to produce ever more realistic works of art. The other, discriminator, acts as discerning critic, aiming to identify which pieces between genuine and forgeries. This adversarial process fuels the power of GANs. The generator continuously creates new data, trying to fool the discriminator into believing it's real. Meanwhile, the discriminator analyzes this generated data, honing its ability to spot even the subtlest, inauthentic details. This constant competition pushes both sides to improve. The generator becomes adept at creating incredibly realistic data, while the discriminator develops a keen eye for identifying forgeries. This competitive training process allows GANs to achieve breakthroughs in generating realistic outputs, constantly setting new standards in the realm of generative AI. Autoregressive models function like storytellers predicting the next chapter based on everything that's happened so far. Unlike generative models that create entire pieces from scratch, autoregressive models excel at sequential data, where order and context matter. Imagine reading a captivating novel. Each sentence builds upon the previous one, creating a coherent narrative. Similarly, autoregressive models process information sequentially. They analyze the initial elements in a sequence and then predict what the next element should be. This prediction becomes a new data point, and the model uses it along with the original elements to predict the element after that. This iterative process continues, allowing the model to generate entire sequences, like complete sentences, musical pieces, or even stock market forecasts. The key here is the autoregressive nature. The model treats its own predictions as observed data, effectively building upon its own storytelling prowess with each step. We are near to the end of this chapter. Remember, Generative AI opens up a world of possibilities. It is crucial for us to understand the underlying concepts behind them in order to embrace these changes. Thank you. Welcome to the Chapter 2 of ChatGPT and Generative AI Prompt Engineering by Saint Hua. In this chapter, we will focus on the introduction to prompt engineering. In this lesson, we'll discover how the right words and instructions can transform your experience with generative AI models. Prompt engineering is the art and science of crafting the perfect instructions, like a detailed recipe, to guide generative AI models and unlock their creative potential. Think of it as giving the AI a detailed instruction manual for what you want it to create. Imagine you have a powerful oven capable of baking anything you desire, but the controls are complex. Prompt engineering equips you with the knowledge to write clear instructions such as the type of flour, the temperature. These instructions, called prompts, act as a bridge between your creative goals and the AI's capabilities. By carefully crafting prompts that are detailed, informative, and tailored to the specific AI model, you can coax the AI into generating exactly what you envision. It's like providing the AI with a comprehensive instruction manual, allowing it to understand your desired outcome and produce stunning images, captivating stories, or innovative musical pieces that align perfectly with your creative vision. In the world of generative AI, prompts are the magic touch that transform powerful tool into a masterpiece machine. The quality of the prompt you provide directly influences the quality of AI's creation. Imagine a sculptor with incredible talent but lacking a clear vision. A well-crafted prompt acts like a detailed blueprint, specifying the desired style such as realistic or abstract, subject matter such as a majestic eagle or a playful dolphin, and level of detail such as feathers ruffled by wind or playful glint in the eye. The clearer and more specific your prompt, the better the AI can understand your vision. Vague or generic prompts might lead to irrelevant or generic outputs. But with a well-defined prompt, AI can unleash its full potential, generating highly relevant, detailed, and even creative results that perfectly capture your artistic intent. It's through the power of effective prompts that humans and AI can truly collaborate, pushing the boundaries of creative expression. Let's delve deeper into how prompts steer the AI's creative process. Effective prompting acts like a guiding framework, consisting of three crucial components: subject, style, and details. The subject defines the core concept of your desired output: a majestic dragon soaring through a starry sky, a heart-warming reunion scene between friends. Style specifies the artistic direction: a photorealistic image, a classic painting, a whimsical cartoon. Finally, details add depth and nuance: the dragon's scales shimmering with an iridescent glow, friends embracing with tears of joy. Mastering these components allows you to craft clear and concise prompts that the AI can readily understand and interpret. Vague or generic prompts might leave the AI guessing, resulting in outputs that miss the mark. But with well-defined prompts, you can effectively guide the AI towards your creative goals, fostering a collaboration that unlocks a world of artistic possibilities. When crafting prompts, the describing content is like laying the groundwork for a building. The core subject matter guides the AI in what to focus on. Think of it as starting of a story. It sets the stage for everything that unfolds. Starting with basic subjects, like a cat or a landscape, allows you to ease into using generative AI. As you gain confidence, you can introduce more specialized topics: a mythical creature with wings and a lion's mane, or a futuristic cityscape on Mars. The key here is clarity and specificity. The clearer you are in describing the subject, the more accurate and relevant the AI's output will be. Vague descriptions might lead to generic outcomes, while precise details allow AI to generate content aligning with your vision. So whether you're envisioning a playful kitten chasing a ball of yarn or a bustling marketplace on a distant planet, clearly defining the subject matter in your prompts is the first step towards achieving stunning and focused AI creations. Generative AI isn't just about creating content. It's about creating it with artistic flair. Prompts allow you to wield the power of style control. You can specify the style, mood, and overall aesthetic you desire through carefully chosen keywords. Imagine describing a landscape. You can say realistic forest for a detailed nature scene, or impressionistic meadow for a dreamlike, colorful portrayal. Keywords like noir or vintage can evoke specific moods, while referencing famous artists like Van Gogh or Hayao Miyazaki can steer the AI towards replicating their signature styles. This artistic control empowers you to experiment and explore a vast range of possibilities. You can conjure a whimsical scene reminiscent of a children's book illustration, or craft a photorealistic portrait that looks like it was painted by a master. By incorporating style control into your prompts, you become the creative director, transforming AI into your artistic instrument for boundless creative expression. Now we know the key aspects of prompts. We also need to know how to phrase and structure them well. We will be exploring the effect of each sections and understand how they can be structured. The first step to writing an effective prompt is to provide clear instructions. What do you want the generative AI to do? Be specific and avoid ambiguity. For example, instead of saying write something creative, you could say write a poem about a robot who falls in love with a human. The more specific you are, the better the generative AI will be able to understand your request. In addition to clear instructions, you should also incorporate constraints into your prompts. This can help to shape the output of the generative AI and ensure that it meets your needs. For example, you could specify a word limit, a desired tone or style, or required keywords. By including constraints, you can help the generative AI to generate content that is more relevant and useful to you. Providing context in your prompt can help the generative AI to better understand your request. This can include information about the target audience, the purpose of the content, or the desired style. For example, if you are asking the generative AI to write a blog post, you could provide information about the topic of the blog post, the target audience, and the desired tone of the post. The more context you can provide, the better the generative AI will be able to generate content that meets your needs. Effective prompts should not only instruct but also inspire. Use creative language and ask open-ended questions to encourage the generative AI to come up with something unique. For example, instead of saying write a story about a dog, you could say write a story about a dog who goes on a quest to find a new home. Your prompt is your paintbrush. By using creative language and asking open-ended questions, you can help AI to generate content that is more engaging and interesting. Now with the basic techniques learned, let's explore different prompt strategies for various generative AI tasks, allowing for greater complexity and control. For this lesson, we will focus mainly on single-turn prompts, multi-turn prompts, and conditional prompts. Single-turn prompts are the workhorses of generative AI, offering a straightforward approach to get you started. Imagine giving a clear and concise instruction to a skilled craftsperson. Single-turn prompts function similarly. They condense your creative vision into a single, detailed sentence. This provides the AI with a compact guide for generating the desired output. It's a good starting point for beginners or when exploring fundamental concepts. For instance, a prompt like a photorealistic portrait of an astronaut gazing at the Earth from space offers all the necessary information in one go. Single-turn prompts are ideal for basic requests and can be surprisingly effective in generating high-quality outputs. However, if you crave more nuance or artistic control, exploring other prompting techniques like multi-turn prompts, providing additional details over multiple sentences, might be necessary to achieve your desired level of creative expression. The second type is multi-turn prompts. Think of it as a step-by-step collaboration with the AI, or rather an actual conversation with it. Unlike single-turn prompts that deliver all the information in one go, multi-turn prompts involve a series of prompts, each building upon the previous one, allowing for greater complexity and iteration. Imagine meticulously describing a scene in a story, the setting, the characters, the atmosphere. Each sentence adds detail and nuance. Similarly, multi-turn prompts allow you to provide the AI with iterative guidance, refining its understanding of your creative vision. This is particularly effective for tasks like crafting compelling stories or generating intricate visual narratives. With each turn, you can describe specific elements, like character actions or plot twists in a story, or provide details about objects and their relationships in a visual scene. However, the key lies in structuring the prompts coherently. A logical progression of information ensures the AI can effectively follow your narrative and generate outputs that reflect the depth and complexity you envisioned. By mastering multi-turn prompts, You unlock the potential to create elaborate narratives and stunningly detailed visual experiences with your AI collaborator. Conditional prompts take generative AI to a whole new level of collaboration, allowing you to not only describe what you want, but also use existing examples as a springboard for creativity. Imagine having a personal art director you can modify or build upon your initial ideas. Conditional prompts empower you to do just that. You can provide the AI with an existing image or text as a starting point, and then use the prompt to specify edits or desired styles. This opens doors for tasks like image editing. Imagine taking a photo and prompting the AI to add a majestic dragon soaring through the background. Style transfer becomes effortless. You can take a picture and use a prompt to transform it into a Van Gogh-inspired masterpiece. The possibilities are endless. Conditional prompts offer immense control and versatility, allowing you to create variations on existing ideas or inject entirely new elements, fostering a truly interactive and iterative approach to generative AI tasks. There are still even more advanced prompting techniques that you can use to get even more out of generative AI models. These techniques can help you to generate more creative, informative, and specific outputs. Negated prompts are a technique where you can instruct the AI to exclude certain elements from the generated content. This can be useful for narrowing down the creative space and generating outputs that are more in line with your vision. For example, if you are asking the AI to generate an image of a cat, you could use a negated prompt to specify that you don't want the cat to be wearing a hat. Weighted phrases are a technique where you can assign more importance to certain aspects of your prompt. This can be useful for guiding the AI's focus and generating outputs that emphasize specific elements. For example, if you are asking the AI to write a blog post about the history of artificial intelligence, you could use weighted phrases to emphasize the importance of key milestones or important figures. Image-to-image guidance is a technique where you can use an existing image as a starting point for generating a new image. This can be useful for creating variations of an existing image or for creating new images that are inspired by a particular style or aesthetic. For example, you could use an image of a painting by Van Gogh as a starting point for generating a new image in the same style. By using these advanced prompting techniques, you can take your generative AI projects to the next level and generate even more creative and informative outputs. Now you have learned even more advanced techniques of prompt engineering. Now it's time to complete even more complex tasks with them in mind. Your task is to come up with any objectives that can be completed with generative AI, such as writing a short story, generating images for a presentation, or designing a game, and explore different prompt types and techniques you have learned so far to complete the same tasks and observe the difference in outputs. For example, design a video game versus design a first-person shooter horror video game that involves using special equipment to face off against monsters with psychic abilities. For image generation, you can use Gemini, which is available for free if you do not already own paid image generation or processing services such as ChatGPT 4. Have fun creating. You may pause the video and refer to this page for advices on completing your exercise. If you feel that your creative juices are not flowing today, the readings after this video will you give some inspiration on the tasks to prompt AI for and tips for experimentation as well. If you find a previous exercise a walk in the park, you can challenge yourself further by doing these following exercises as well. We hope you had fun generating new things with AI. Take a moment to think about the outputs you have gotten with the different prompts. What are their differences, and which prompts are more effective or suitable in accomplishing your intended tasks? In the next chapter, we will explore even more advanced prompting techniques that will further enhance your outputs. See you there. Again, we are near to the end of this chapter. Note that prompt engineering serves as a bridge between your text input and the desired outcomes. Mastering prompt design is the most crucial way to effective usage of generative AI. Thank you. Welcome to the third chapter of ChatGPT and Generative AI Prompt Engineering by Saint Hua. For this chapter, we will be further exploring prompt engineering, specifically in the field of prompt patterns. In today's lesson, we'll learn how to treat prompts as a dialogue, extracting information or narratives from generative AI models in an even more natural way. To make our prompting even more natural, we can prompt in such a way such that we can simulate making a conversation with AI. So far, we have discussed a technique to do so using multi-turn prompting. That said, There are many options on how to converse with AI, and in this chapter, we will dive deep into this topic. The interview pattern is the cornerstone of a successful interaction with generative AI models. Imagine yourself as an interviewer, skillfully using questions to elicit the information you need with the AI. Just like in a real interview, questions here serve as the foundation, guiding the AI towards providing relevant and engaging responses. The key lies in using a variety of question types. Open-ended questions, like describe a fantastical creature from a dream world, encourage the AI to elaborate and express its creativity. This can lead to surprising and delightful results. On the other hand, clarifying and probing questions, like what emotions does this creature evoke, help you extract specific details and gain deeper insights into the AI's generation process. By strategically combining open-ended and focused questions, you can comprehensively explore a desired topic or story in covering different levels of detail and perspectives from the AI. This interview pattern fosters a dynamic back and forth, turning your interaction with generative AI into a collaborative and inspiring exploration. The applications of the interview pattern are huge. You can use it to create new characters and their personalities with AI, and then start to interview these characters about their backstories and motivations. This can help you to develop more well-rounded and believable characters. You can use it to ask questions about the setting, history, and culture of your fictional world. This can help you to create a more rich and immersive world for your readers or players. It can also be a great tool for brainstorming new ideas. You can use it to generate raw material for stories, outlines, or game narratives. Chain of thought prompts break down complex questions or tasks into a series of smaller, more manageable steps for the AI. Imagine a math problem with multiple steps. Solving it all at once can be overwhelming. Chain of thought prompts act like a roadmap, guiding the AI through each step logically. Instead of simply asking for the answer, you provide prompts that encourage the AI to reveal its reasoning process. This can be done by using phrases like first, consider, or next, analyze. By encouraging a step-by-step approach, you gain valuable insight into the AI's thought process and ensure a clear and cohesive flow of reasoning. This not only improves the accuracy of the final output, but also helps you understand how the AI arrived at its answer. Chain of thought prompts are particularly useful for tasks that require logical reasoning and problem solving, allowing you to peek behind the curtain and witness the AI's thought process in action. Additionally, using visuals like diagrams to represent the question hierarchy can further aid the AI in understanding the complex structure of the question. This structured approach to questioning not only helps the AI arrive at a more accurate answer, but also allows you to witness its reasoning process step by step, fostering a deeper understanding of its capabilities. This approach shines for tasks requiring reasoning and logic. It's great for educational content, summaries, and technical problem-solving scenarios. An example of when you might use chain of thought prompting is when you need the AI to solve a math word problem. By breaking the problem down into steps, such as identifying the knowns and unknowns, formulating an equation, and solving the equation, the AI can be guided towards the correct answer. It's time to expand our prompt repertoire. We'll explore even more patterns that tap into different generative AI capabilities. For this lesson, we will focus on questions and answering patterns, analogy-based prompts, and sentiment-based prompts. One pattern is question-answering prompting. It is a way to instruct generative AI models to find and provide answers to your questions. It's like giving the AI a specific recipe to follow for finding the information you need. Here's how it works. First, you provide a prompt that tells the AI what kind of question you're asking. This can be a simple question itself, or a more elaborate statement that sets the context for your question. The more specific and informative your prompt is, the better the AI will understand what you're looking for. By providing context, you help the AI grasp the intent behind your question. This allows it to not just find keywords, but to find information truly relevant to your needs. Good prompts can help the AI generate more precise and informative answers to your questions and makes it less likely for it to go off topic mid-conversation. Analogy-based prompts are a specific type of prompt used for generative AI that leverage comparisons to guide the AI in its response. They act like a bridge between familiar concepts and the information you seek. They work by firstly introducing a familiar concept that the AI understands well. This serves as the analogy. You then explain the link between the analogy and the actual information you're looking for. One example prompt could be explain a feeling of loneliness to someone who has always lived with a large family. Use the analogy of a deserted island to describe the isolation. By understanding the analogy, the AI can use its knowledge to process the information you're seeking in a similar way it understands the familiar concept. Breaking down a complex concept into a relatable analogy can make it easier for the AI to understand and generate a relevant response, potentially even sparking new ideas and approach us by drawing parallels between seemingly unrelated concepts. Sentiment-based prompts are a way to instruct generative AI models to consider the emotional tone or feeling you want conveyed. They act like emotional guideposts, helping the AI tailor its response to a specific feeling. Here's how they work. You indicate the desired sentiment in your prompt. This could be positive, such as happy or excited, negative, such as sad or angry, or neutral. The context of your prompt is also crucial. You can provide a starting point like a situation, topic, or specific word, and then specify the desired emotional tone. By understanding the sentiment you want, the AI can choose words, phrasing, structuring its response to achieve that emotional effect. One example can be summarize the Israel-Hamas war, using language that conveys empathy and concern for the victims. By using sentiment-based prompts, we can create content that evokes specific emotions in the reader or listener and ensure the generated content aligns with the intended emotional message. No single prompt pattern is perfect for every scenario. Let's analyze when each approach shines and where it might face challenges. Firstly, let's talk about interview pattern. Imagine getting stuck on a creative project. An AI partner that you can interview with can help you brainstorm fresh ideas, explore unexpected avenues, and unlock the real power of your creativity. Say you're writing a fantasy novel. You could use AI to generate detailed character backgrounds, motivations, and even plot twists, all based on the initial seed of your idea. However, it's important to be aware of the potential pitfalls, as AI-generated ideas may not always perfectly align with your vision, and the AI might wander off on tangents if the prompts aren't clear. Next, let's discuss about chain of thought. By breaking down complex problems into smaller, more manageable steps, chain of thought prompting encourages the AI to reason logically and generate well-structured outputs. This can be especially helpful for complex tasks that would be difficult for the AI to solve in one go. Chain of thought prompting also makes the AI's thought process more transparent, which can be helpful for debugging purposes and for understanding how the AI arrived at its solution. However, unlike the interview pattern, chain of thought prompting can restrict the AI's ability to explore unconventional solutions due to chain of thought's systematic nature regarding the strengths and limitations for the other advanced prompting techniques. First up, we have question answering prompts. These are fantastic for getting clear, factual answers, like having a super-powered research assistant. But if you're looking for something too imaginative, question answering prompts might not be the best fit. They're more suited for straightforward information retrieval. Analogy-based prompts are all about sparking creativity through comparison. This approach can lead to surprising and innovative ideas, but it does require some upfront effort from you to craft the right analogy. The better the analogy, the better the AI can understand your desired outcome. Finally, we have sentiment-based prompts. This is great for crafting stories that tug at the heartstrings or writing customer service emails that convey empathy. However, it's important to remember that AI is still under development, and achieving the exact emotional tone you have in mind might take some fine-tuning of the prompt. Now it's time for another exercise to apply everything you learned so far. Get ready to gain first-hand experience using generative AI to complete real-world tasks. In this exercise, you will be role-playing as an author, marketer, and customer support staff. Put yourself in their perspectives and think of which techniques are more suitable for each situation. For more details and tips, refer to the readings. You are encouraged to reflect on your prompting methods after the exercise and maybe make improvements along the way. Have fun creating. You may pause at the next few pages for specific requirements of different tasks. You may take a look at the reading materials of Chapter 2 and 3 to help you in your exercise. Thank you. Welcome to Chapter 4 of ChatGPT and Generative AI Prompt Engineering by Saint Hua. For this chapter, we will be looking into text-to-image prompt techniques, allowing AI to create fascinating images to your desire. Welcome to the world of generative art, where text transforms into breathtaking images. In this chapter, we'll dive into generating beautiful images effectively beyond our usual text outputs. When prompting for image, imagine you're describing a painting. The more vivid and specific your words, the more stunning the final result will be. Text-to-image prompts act as this bridge between your creative vision and the AI's generation. They don't rely on single words or generic phrases. Instead, they thrive on adjectives and modifiers that paint a clear picture with words. Details about the subject, like a majestic griffin with piercing blue eyes, or the desired atmosphere, like a dreamlike underwater scene bathed in ethereal light, all play a crucial role. Using a rich vocabulary, you can nudge AI in the right direction, influencing everything from the style, realistic, cartoon, to the overall mood, peaceful, suspenseful, of the generated image. Remember, even slight variations in your wording can drastically alter the final output, making prompt crafting a powerful tool to unleash your creative potential and translate your vision into a stunning AI-generated masterpiece. In the realm of text-to-image AI, adjectives aren't just fancy words. They transform your prompts from basic instructions into vibrant descriptions. Imagine an artist wielding palette. Adjectives are the countless colors he can choose from. Well-crafted prompts use a rich vocabulary of adjectives and modifiers to provide the AI with detail and context. Words like vibrant or soft can completely alter the mood of an image, infusing it with energy or serenity. Describing a building as angular conjures a modern aesthetic, while rustic evokes a sense of warmth and age. The key is to experiment and go beyond basic descriptions. Explore how different adjectives can influence the visual style. Can you imagine the difference between a towering, Gothic castle and a charming fairy tale cottage? By becoming a master of descriptive language, you can use adjectives to emote specific feelings, guide the AI towards distinct artistic styles, and ultimately, breathe life into the generated art piece. Adjectives and modifiers are the secret sauce in text-to-image prompts, the difference between a bland recipe and a dish bursting with flavor. Imagine instructing a chef to make chicken for dinner. The result could be anything: grilled, fried, roasted. But specify indoor marinated, bone-in chicken roasted on a bed of colorful vegetables, and suddenly the dish comes alive in your mind's eye. The same principle applies to text-to-image AI. Generic terms like house leave the AI guessing, potentially leading to predictable or uninspired outputs. However, using specific adjectives and modifiers injects detail and nuance. Describe a Victorian mansion with a Gothic facade, overgrown with creeping vines and a wrought iron gate guarding the entrance. And the AI has a roadmap to generate a truly unique and evocative image. Specificity is key. The more details you provide about the architecture, surroundings, and even the emotional tone, the more the AI can tailor the image to your vision. Don't just describe what you see, describe what you feel. By using vivid language and specific details, you unlock the true magic of text-to-image, the ability to translate your creative vision into an image that not only reflects the prompt but also captures the intended story or emotion. So, ditch the generic terms and embrace the power of adjectives and modifiers. They are the key to unlocking a world of stunning and surprising AI-generated art. The world of text-to-image AI isn't just about creating realistic visuals. It's about unleashing your inner artist and exploring a vast spectrum of artistic styles. Imagine having a skilled artist at your fingertips who can not only paint what you describe, but also adapt their style to match your vision. This is the power of keywords in text-to-image prompts. By incorporating keywords related to artistic styles, you can guide the AI in applying specific artistic elements. Do you crave a photorealistic portrait that captures every wrinkle and detail? Include photorealistic in your prompt. Yearning for a dreamy, impressionistic landscape reminiscent of Monet's water lilies? Simply add impressionistic style. The possibilities are endless. Keywords like oil painting, digital art, or even sketch act as instructions for the AI, allowing you to create anything from a classic Renaissance masterpiece to a retro video game scene with pixelated charm. Understanding how different styles are interpreted by the AI is key to crafting effective prompts. So, the next time you have a creative spark, don't be afraid to experiment with artistic styles. With the right keywords, you can transform your text to image prompts into portals to a world brimming with artistic expression. Now, let's lift the hood and see how generative AI turns your descriptions into images. We'll break down the process step by step, featuring how text descriptions are transformed, different components of AI model and their effects, as well as looking at image generation as a whole. First things first, AI can understand our language directly. To bridge the gap, text is broken down into numbers and compiled into the model. The model learns the patterns and relationships between the sequences of these numeric data, allowing it to grasp the statistical properties of human language. This training allows the AI to learn the patterns of human language and use that knowledge to create new text and images. Now we have a basic understanding of how it works. Let's meet the heart of the process, the generative AI model. We'll explore how it's trained and how it uses your prompt as a blueprint to construct stunning images. When tasked with an image prompt, AI doesn't work with the raw text as mentioned previously. Instead, it analyzes it like a detective examining a scene. By dissecting adjectives, nouns, and the overall context, the AI builds a complete picture of what the desired image should be. This understanding then acts as a blueprint for the AI's algorithms to generate the initial image layout. Finally, the prompt-specific details are layered on, like brush strokes on a canvas, refining the image and ensuring it closely resembles what the prompt described. This is evident when adding in adjectives and modifiers as details that generative AI has to process and fulfill. Knowing the basic techniques of text-to-image generation, we will now explore the different strategies AI uses to create images with them, namely diffusion models, generative adversarial networks, and contrastive language image pre-training model. Understanding these techniques empowers you to craft even more effective prompts. Diffusion models are like reverse engineering. Imagine a pristine canvas filled with nothing but random static. That's essentially what a diffusion model begins with a noisy image. The AI is then tasked with meticulously transforming this noise into a recognizable image. It achieves this by progressively removing the noise step by step. Each step involves the model predicting what the underlying image should look like with slightly less noise. Here's the artistic twist. The AI learns this denoising process by being trained on a vast data set of real images. By analyzing countless examples of what not noisy looks like, the model refines its ability to remove noise and create a clear image. The imperfections or noise themselves become a source of creativity. The random patterns introduced at the beginning can influence the textures and details that emerge when denoising. This, coupled with the model's existing learned patterns, lets the AI generate highly creative and detailed outputs. GANs, or generative adversarial networks, are like an artist's studio fueled by constant competition. Here's a closer look at the fascinating dynamic between the two AI models at play. Imagine a highly creative but perhaps slightly whimsical artist. That's the generator. It takes textual descriptions as its muse and uses its knowledge of real images to conjure up new pictures. The generator constantly experiments, churning out a variety of images based on its interpretation of the prompt. While the generator dreams up new creations, the discriminator acts as a harsh but necessary critic. This AI model is trained on a massive data set of real images, giving it a discerning eye for detail and authenticity. Its sole purpose is to analyze the generator's creations and ruthlessly judge whether they look like real photographs or not. The magic lies in how these two models interact. The generator tries to constantly outsmart the discriminator by creating images so realistic that they pass the authenticity test. Meanwhile, the discriminator hones its skills at spotting even the subtlest discrepancies between real and generated images. This ongoing competition pushes both models to improve, with the generator learning to produce more realistic outputs and the discriminator becoming a sharper critic. Through this continuous game of one-upmanship, GANs achieve remarkable results. The generator's creativity is constantly refined by the discriminator's critical eye, leading to the production of highly photorealistic images that often closely resemble real photographs. Contrastive language image pre-training acts like a bridge between the world of words and the world of images for AI. Here's a deeper look at how it refines image generation. Imagine CLIP as a massive AI-powered dictionary that connects written descriptions to actual visual concepts. By analyzing countless text-image pairings, Clip learns intricate relationships between the words we use and the corresponding visual elements they represent. When you provide a text prompt for image generation, Clip steps in to analyze it. It breaks down the prompt into its key components, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and uses its vast knowledge to understand the visual elements these words represent. Clip then acts as a guide for the AI model tasked with generating the image. By referencing the visual concepts associated with your words, Clip steers the AI in the right direction. This ensures the generated image aligns with the specific details and nuances described in your prompt. As the AI model creates the image, Clip can continuously check its progress against the visual understanding gleaned from your text prompt. This allows for real-time adjustments, ensuring the final image accurately reflects the details you described. While AI for image generation is constantly evolving, it can still struggle with complex scenes. Let's discuss the current challenges and limitations, so you can be aware of potential shortcomings and work around them. Imagine an artist trying to juggle too many objects at once. That's what can happen with overly complex prompts. AI models excel at understanding individual elements, but when faced with a multitude of objects, actions, and relationships, they might struggle to create a cohesive image. By deconstructing a complex scene into smaller, more manageable elements, you provide the AI with clearer building blocks. Think of it as giving the artist separate juggling balls instead of an overflowing bag. Understanding that AI has limitations is key to a successful image generation experience. If you set your expectations for a photorealistic depiction of a massive space battle with dozens of spaceships, intricate details, and complex maneuvers, you might be disappointed. However, by providing separate prompts for, say, a single spaceship design or a futuristic landscape, you can achieve more success. It's also crucial to recognize that AI models are trained on massive data sets, which may contain biases. AI models are like impressionable students. They learn from the data they're exposed to. If the training data contains biases, these biases can be reflected in the images the AI generates. Biases can be subtle and unintentional. Training data might not explicitly showcase bias, but inherent societal biases might be reflected in the types of images used. For instance, a data set focused on professions might contain mostly men pictured as doctors and women as nurses, even if that doesn't reflect reality. To mitigate bias, it's crucial to be aware of its potential presence. Look for training data sets that are curated to be diverse and representative of the real world, and possibly use them as an analogy or example for generative AI to pick up on. This could involve data sets that contain a balanced variety of people, objects, and scenes across different demographics and categories. Natural language is nuanced, and AI can sometimes take things literally, leading to some interesting misinterpretations. An AI unfamiliar with the concept of hot dogs might focus solely on the word hot and generate an image of a literal dog which is sweating a lot. To avoid this, consider adding details like hot dog on a bun with ketchup and mustard to provide more context. Similarly, big cat might be interpreted as simply scaling up a regular house cat. To nudge the AI in the right direction, specify the type of big cat you desire, such as majestic lion with a flowing mane or powerful tiger stalking through tall grass. Remember, AI image generation is an iterative process. Don't be afraid to experiment with different prompts and details to guide the AI towards your desired outcome. By understanding its potential shortcomings and using clear, descriptive language, you can achieve more success in translating your vision into a compelling AI-generated image. To conclude with this chapter as usual, get ready to unleash your creativity yet again with another exercise. We'll be diving into powerful tools like Dolly, Artbreeder, and Runwaymo to see how simple text descriptions can be transformed into stunning visuals. Make use of the techniques learned to generate different kinds of images, including those with generic and specific prompts to complete the following tasks. You are free to decide the image's details, including adjectives and modifiers. Make sure to reflect on your creations, what worked and what could be improved, and feel free to share your reflections with others. Have fun admiring each other's works and gaining new perspectives from fellow students. You may pause the video now and refer to this page for an example of the exercise. Thank you. Welcome to the final chapter of ChatGPT and Generative AI Prompt Engineering course by Saint Hua. In this chapter, we will be looking at the ethical side of generative AI. Now that you have mastered how to use generative AI with greater efficiency, it is important to note that with great power comes great responsibility. As you harness the power to express your creativity with generative AI, it is important to uncover the dilemmas this technology presents and discuss ways to ensure its use for good. Generative AI's potential is incredible, but ethical considerations are crucial. Biases in training data can lead to unfair outputs, and the technology could be misused for deepfakes or disinformation. To ensure AI benefits everyone, we need diverse training data, human oversight, and transparent models. This power to mimic reality makes these models prone to misuse. By making responsible choices today, we can shape AI into a positive force for our future. Ethics in generative AI start at the foundation, the prompt. Biases can creep into AI image generation not just through data, but through the very words we use in prompts. The way we describe things can contain hidden assumptions and stereotypes. For example, a prompt for a business professional might unconsciously result in an image of a man in a suit. Even seemingly harmless words can perpetuate biases or lead to unintended results. To use AI ethically, we need to be mindful of our prompts and challenge our own assumptions. By consciously aiming for fairness and inclusivity in how we describe what we want the AI to generate, we can help ensure the technology produces results that are representative of the diverse world we live in. Generative AI learns from massive data sets reflecting real-world biases. Prompt engineers need to be mindful of perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Even phrases that seem neutral might have hidden biases. For example, using businessman as the default for a professional could lead the AI to undervalue female entrepreneurs in its outputs. AI learns from the data it's trained on. If that data reflects societal biases, the AI will perpetuate them. For instance, an AI trained on mostly articles written by men might generate outputs with a male perspective. Sometimes, even prompt engineers themselves have their own biases and need to be aware of them and how they might influence their prompts. Ethical prompting is proactive. It requires questioning our own assumptions and aiming for fairness in the results we guide the AI towards. To prevent biases, ethical prompting requires using inclusive language such as using business person instead of businessman, challenging assumptions in prompts such as being aware that prompting for creative writing ideas might lead to stereotypical storylines, and considering cultural context such as avoiding humor offensive in certain cultures. By following these principles, prompt engineers can ensure AI outputs are fair, unbiased, and respectful, like a doctor treating all patients equally. Bias in AI is a complex problem. Let's explore its sources and consider ways to mitigate it during prompt engineering and model development. Recognizing the root of bias is essential to combat it. It's not always deliberate. Understanding how it creeps in is key to more equitable outcomes. AI is susceptible to bias in two main ways: through the data it's trained on and the prompts used to guide it. Imagine an AI trained on loan applications that were historically more likely to approve loans for men than women. This AI might inherit that bias and continue to disfavor female loan applicants, even unintentionally perpetuating real-world inequalities. The way we word prompts can also influence AI outputs, as mentioned previously. By being mindful of these factors, we can mitigate bias and ensure fairer AI outcomes. Active efforts in prompting can help balance the data set the AI learns from, even when working with imperfect or biased data and models. We can consciously represent diverse perspectives. For example, instead of a prompt like "write a story about a doctor," you could say "write a story about a medical professional saving a life," allowing for doctors, nurses, or even EMTs as heroes. We can also challenge stereotypical portrayals. For example, instead of "generate an image of a hacker," prompt for "create an image of a cybersecurity expert," breaking the stereotype of hackers as young, male recluses. Of course, we still might have to balance the dataset in the long run. This might involve actively seeking out data that counters biases. If training an AI for facial recognition, ensure the dataset includes descriptions or faces from diverse ethnicities and genders to avoid bias towards a particular group. The same applies to generating image and video output from AI as well. When using AI, It is important for us to understand the potential biases that the AI might have in order to mitigate them with proper prompting. Ethics aren't just about design, they extend to how we deploy these tools. When it comes to AI-driven content creation, ethical considerations are paramount. Transparency is key. Creators should acknowledge the use of AI tools and the role they played in the process. This prevents misrepresentation and ensures the audience understands the collaborative nature of the work. Just like an artist might credit a collaborator, creators using AI should be transparent about this partnership to uphold ethical standards in the field. AI is a powerful tool for artists, but ethical use is key to respecting creators and being honest with audiences. Ethical responsibilities in AI-driven content creation are multifaceted. Firstly, creators must act as safeguards against misinformation by double-checking AI-generated content and verifying its accuracy. Secondly, transparency is key. Clear labeling of content as AI-assisted informs audiences and avoids confusion about the creative process. Finally, responsible use is crucial. AI should be viewed as a tool to enhance human creativity, not replace it. Failure to do so can result in not just increased unemployment rates, but also long-term cognitive decline in humans. By being mindful of these aspects, we can ensure AI uplifts the creative landscape while maintaining ethical practices. To further appreciate ethics in AI, let's explore a chilling example of a deepfake used for malicious purposes in 2020, targeting Nancy Pelosi, then candidate for US president. A fabricated video showed her slurring her words and appearing mentally unfit. This deepfake spread rapidly online, aiming to damage her reputation and cast doubt on her ability to lead. This case highlights the ethical dangers of deepfakes. Their ease of creation and potential for virality can erode trust in public figures, disrupt political discourse, and sow discord. Misinformation spreads quickly through deepfakes, making it difficult for audiences to discern truth from fiction. This manipulation of reality can threaten democratic processes and fair elections. Mitigating such incidents requires a multifaceted approach. Firstly, raising public awareness about deepfakes is crucial. Educating people on how to identify manipulated videos and be critical of online content can help them become discerning consumers of information. Secondly, social media platforms have responsibility to implement stricter detection measures and content moderation policies to curb the spread of deepfakes. Thirdly, advancements in AI like deepfake detection tools that analyze patterns and inconsistencies can help identify forgeries, fighting fire with fire. However, technology alone cannot solve the problem. Legal frameworks that address the creation and distribution of malicious deepfakes are essential. Finally, fostering media literacy and critical thinking skills in the public is an ongoing effort. By equipping people with the ability to evaluate information sources and identify manipulation tactics, we can build resilience against the misuse of deepfakes. AI-generated works are also creating a copyright conundrum. Unclear ownership rights can lead to misuse of AI-created content, like music or text, without proper attribution or permission. Often, AI might take ideas from existing art to generate its images and not give credit to the sources. This not only downplays work from artists that AI might have taken their sources from, but if the content created turns out to be harmful, the person or organization behind the AI models or generated outputs may escape responsibility as well. As AI technology evolves, legal systems are grappling with how to assign copyright in these scenarios. This is an ongoing debate, but one thing is clear. Establishing clear ownership and accountability and ensuring ethical use of AI-generated content is crucial for a healthy and innovative future. It's not set and forget. Accountability requires ongoing monitoring, responsiveness to issues, and a commitment to improvement. Building accountability in AI requires a multi-pronged approach. Firstly, clear channels for reporting misuse or harmful AI outputs allow for swift intervention and course correction. Secondly, ongoing dialogue among developers, ethicists, and domain experts is crucial to proactively identify potential ethical issues and co-create responsible solutions. Finally, regular audits of AI models for bias and performance flaws ensure transparency and allow for continuous improvement, fostering trust and responsible use of AI technology. Imagine a music producer using AI to create a catchy melody. This melody forms the basis of a hit song, generating millions in revenue. Here's where the copyright question arises. Is it the music producer for selecting the melody and crafting the song around it, or does ownership belong to the AI developers who created the underlying technology? Should the AI be credited as a co-creator? If so, how would fair compensation be determined? Is it a one-time payment for the melody's generation, or should the AI developers receive royalties based on the song's success? This scenario highlights the complexities of copyright in AI-generated work. Current legal frameworks might struggle to address these issues definitively. As AI's role in creative endeavors continues to grow, establishing clear ownership and fair compensation models will be essential. This will incentivize innovation in AI development while ensuring creators and artists using AI tools are properly recognized and rewarded. Organizations can practice ethics in AI by developing an ethical framework, which is essentially an ethical checklist template for evaluating AI projects, and may vary depending on the nature of each project and organization. A robust ethical framework for AI development starts with clearly defined ethical principles tailored to the project's goals. These principles should consider the potential social, environmental, and individual rights impacts of the AI technology. Furthermore, the framework should establish processes for integrating ethical considerations throughout the entire life cycle of the AI project, from development to deployment. This ensures that ethical considerations are not an afterthought, but rather woven into the very fabric of the AI system. To end off this chapter, you are encouraged to imagine yourself taking part in an individual or company project, which you are free to decide for this exercise, and come up with a relevant ethical framework. We hope you had fun exploring ethical frameworks in generative AI. Take the time to reflect on the potential risks and benefits of generative AI and thus the importance of such frameworks and why it is important to develop them based on different situations. That concludes the end of the final chapter of this course. And thank you for taking the time to learn from us. Remember, AI is a double-edged sword. In order to embrace the benefits this revolutionary technologies brings, it is important for us to not only learn the underlying concepts behind this technology, but also the ethical and societal impacts brought by it. Thank you.